Namaskar to everybody and welcome to Minnesota Hindu Milan Mandir. And this is a ongoing Srimad Bhagavad Gita discourse we have been doing for last almost 1 year now. And this time I will be speaking from Minnesota Hindu Milan Mandir. So let me start with our prayer first, and before I take to the main subject today. It is our pranam to our rishis and munis. Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayo Mudiraye Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasurupaya Sri Vishnave Namaha Vai Brahma Vidhaya Vasishtaya Namo Namaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagate Pate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Om Namaha Sri Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Okay. I have completed chapter 13 when we sat together last time from New Jersey, but we are reading from chapter 14 today. We're starting a new chapter, chapter 14 today. And chapter 14 is being named as Gunotrayo Vibhago Yogaha. It means the yoga of classifications of 3 gunas. So that will be our main subject we'll be starting today. And we all know that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is our life. We have been listening, we have been studying, and we speaking, we writing on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We try to understand it. We try to go deep inside of it. We try to apply the teachings of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day life. And also, we try to overcome all the obstacles of life by applying the teachings of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And we had a long journey. If you remember, we started from the chapter 1, that was Arjuna Vishado Yoga. And from there, we walked a long road, many months gone, many weeks passed. We completed chapter 13. And if you remember, in chapter 13, we talk about the Prakriti and Purushaha, and also Kshetra, Kshetragya, and Jnana and Gya. That was our main subject in chapter 13. So today I will be taking you to chapter 14, classification of the three gunas. And is all going at that battleground of Kurukshetra. Arjuna, now we could see Arjuna become a wonderful devotee of the Lord. Arjuna sitting at the feet of Lord Krishna, and his eyes still tearful. He's listening to the wonderful, words which he never heard. And there was nobody to tell him all these wonderful teachings. And Arjuna was listening. Every word is coming out of the mouth of Lord Sri Krishna. So let me read the very first verse of chapter 14. Please open your Bhagavad Gita if you have in front of one. This is chapter 14, Gunotraya Vibhaga Yogaha, first verse. Om Atho Srimad Bhagavate Gita Chaturdasadhyayah Gunotraya Vibhaga Yogaha Sri Bhagavan Vacha Parang Bhuyaha Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam Yajigatva Munayaha Sarve Param Siddhimitu Gataha Om Namaha Sri Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is basically an scripture of bhakti, full of devotion. Of course, many people may argue that no, Swamiji, this is Jnana. Of course, it is Jnana. But Srimad Bhagavad Gita is teach us how to be humble and be a good devotee of the Lord. And you could see Arjuna was a warrior, he's still a warrior by profession, but he becomes such a wonderful devotee and listening all this good word from the Lord. So in this very first verse, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, the Lord said, I will again teach you the supreme knowledge of all knowledge, knowing which all saints and devotees attain liberation from the bondage of this body. So, Param Bhuyaha Prabhukshami, again I'm going to tell you, Jnananam of all knowledge. There are so many things to learn, and those who handle with those who read Munduk Upanishad, you see there, rishis of the Munduk Upanishad mention that De Vidya Veditavya Parachaivo Aparacha. There is Paravidya, Aparavidya. In this material world, we have so many things to learn. And then we have beyond of this material knowledge, we have the knowledge of the Brahman. That also a vast world. I always mention to our devotees and the members and those who support the Sevashram Sangh movement, Milan Mandir movement. And I always tell them that, spiritual world is a very vast and unknown world. Once you enter there, it's very difficult to come out because the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Lord say that once you move forward towards him one step, he will be coming towards you 10 steps. So that means gradually, there will be no way we can go out of the spiritual world. So Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. Lord Krishna say, Arjuna, I'm going to teach you the most important knowledge. Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. The most sacred knowledge, best knowledge of all knowledges. Jad Gyatva Munayaha Sarve. You hear the word Muni from my mouth many times. Manonat Trayate iti mantraha. But Muni, also those who contemplate, meditate, focus their mind, concentrate their mind in the wonderful thought of the God. when you sit down for meditation, silent meditation, you imagine, you close your eyes, you withdraw your mind from outside world, and gradually try to go deep inside, that your mind should sit at the holy feet of the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Sri Charan Kamal of the Lord. So Munis were the people who spend their life hour after hour in silent meditation, contemplating on the wonderful appearance of the God, their body, their mind, their soul, their incoming and outgoing breath, their every existence of their, that identity, everything was offered at the lotus feet of. So these munis, Siddhi Mitogataha, they attain liberation. That is the goal as a Hindu. We born in a Hindu family, traditional Hindu family. We see from our childhood days that our parent, our mom, our mother, our father, our family, our extended family, our society, our country people, they're so much of devoted. They're very much, God-fearing people. Any special day, they rush to the temple to celebrate some kind of spiritual festival. Why? Because they love God. So there's an eternal and unbroken and inseparable relation between God and the bhaktas and we. So our goal, you could see here, Siddhi. Param Siddhi Mitu Gata. This body will fall down one day, that we all know that. But before this human body fall down, Siddhi, we should attain, we should reach our goal, we should touch that goal. And what is that goal? It is being already told our rishis and munis that Brahma Talakshma Uchate. Mundaka Upanishad clearly, loudly, mention this word, give to this word to the world, that Brahma Talakshma Muchate. Our goal to be united with the Lord. The monastic life, monastic journey at a monastic life, and journey at a family life, these are different route, these are different road taking us to the same goal of life. Like how a monk do tapusya in ashram, similarly family people do tapusya by going through the experience of steps of life. You get mature and you learn the lesson from your own life. Ultimately, one day you know what is the truth of life. So, Lord Krishna going to tell the most valuable knowledge to his most beloved student Arjuna, and he mentioned by understanding this knowledge, there is hundreds and thousands of Rishinas, Munis, they attain liberation. When I will be taking you to the, hopefully I will be taking you to the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, you will see there the Lord Krishna giving the last lesson to Arjuna, Moksha Yuga. So as a Hindu, we look for moksha. What is moksha? Swami Pranavanandaji Maharaj, the great founder of the Bharat Sevashram Sangh and the Hindu Milan Mandir movement, he mentioned that is understanding your true self, self-realization. If you read his 10 messages, you will see there, Guruji again and again mentioned the goal of life. What is the goal of life? Self-realization, understanding our true self. Who am I? Where I came from? What's my true identity? What's my duty? What's my responsibilities? Which direction I should take me, drive me so that I could reach that goal. So that is the 18th chapter. When I will be taking you, you will see that. That will be our final chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Here in chapter 14, the very opening verse of chapter here, Lord Krishna going to deliver that one of the most valuable knowledge to his student Arjuna. So I take you to verse number 2 now. Om. Om. Idam jnanamupasritya idam jnanamupasritya mamo sadharmamagataha sargepi nopujayante pralayena vyathanti cha Krishna Govinda Madhusudana Ram Narayana Hare Krishna Govinda Madhusudana Ram Narayana Hare Krishna Govinda Madhusudana. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in verse number 2, Arjuna, by following this supreme knowledge, these rishis and munis and devotees attain liberation. As a result, neither they are born again at the time of creation, nor do they suffer at the time of dissolution. So you hear the proloy, Mahaproloy, Srishti and Proloy. These two things we hear from childhood days. Srishti is the creation. And we all know in the Hindu way of life, Lord Brahma is being designed or given the duty to create only. And we all know that Lord Brahma has 4 heads and the 4 mouth is reciting verses from 4 Vedas. And also he's meditating and he's in the thoughts of new creation. If you look outside the world from the window of your home, you see so many things are being created and everything look different from each other. So Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, merged in creation, he's always creating. So idam jnana upasritto mamo sadharmam agataha swargepi nopojayante pralayana vyathanti cha. So I was talking of the creation, but whatever is being created, we all know that whatever is being created must be also it's an end. We call proloy. You see in the New York City, you see Minnesota City, anywhere you go, you see old building, hundreds or 150 years old building, the demolishing building, new kind of building designed in a new way. So that is how it happened, that old things go, new generation come, new creation come, new thoughts come, new dream come, and the world look different. So there is Srishti, creation, and Proloy, and that is the end of the creation also. So what Lord Krishna explaining to Arjuna here, the knowledge I am going to teach you today, please keep in mind, Gita, Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the Brahman. Gita is the summary, the essence of all philosophy. Gita is the milk like nectar. Gita is the most sweetest thing in this world. Once you start Bhagavad Gita study, then you will see that your whole life is spending and studying Bhagavad Gita, still you feel like it's not all you learn. Keep reciting, keep reading, and trying to understand what Lord Krishna wanted to teach his student at the battleground of Kurukshetra. It was a unique background when somebody is very busy, no time, thinking of the, he was at the Karma Bhumi, at the field of his action. He's thinking, designing how to conquer the battle of life. And that is the time Lord Krishna chose to impart its knowledge. It's what is such a wonderful background. So by understanding the Gita knowledge rightfully, Momo Sadharmam Agata. That is the most important one in this particular verse. Momo Swadharmam Agata. Somebody come near to me. Somebody embrace me at the sole goal of life. Somebody change his life. Give up many unnecessary things of life and become a wonderful devotee of the Lord. State and nature. Swadharma means state and nature. What is the nature of the God? The God is the father of this world. We saw in chapter 11. God gives blessings to everybody. God is the protector of this world. God is there to give us all kind of happiness in material life. Again, God is there to give us punishment too. If you remember in the battleground in last chapter, in the last portion of chapter 11, when Arjuna asked the Lord, "Oh Lord, who are you standing at this battleground in this wonderful appearance, in your infinite form, in your Vishwarupa?" So Lord Krishna said that here I'm standing in this battleground as Mahakal, time, because time eat everything. And he told Arjuna that, Arjuna, if you do not get involved in this battle, or if you do not perform your duties, still nobody going to survive, because these people who came to the battleground, they already came to their end of life. So they all will be gone in new generation, new creation will be coming in future. So Mamo Sadhargamam Agata, by continuous study of Bhagavad Gita, by continuous contemplation on the wonders of Bhagavad Gita, by continuous meditation on Holy Gita, somebody change his life, a devotee change his life and become the nature of the Bhagavan Krishna. Because welfare for the entire human, the entire universe, I should not say this world, because God is there to bring goodness to the entire universe. So when somebody come to his nature, means we abandon, destroy our meanness, smallness of life, little things of life. Our mind has been expanded. We learn that this world nothing but one family. So idam jnana upasritya mamo sadharanam agataha swargepi nopujayante. That way, at the new creation, when the new creation coming up, if here when you read the Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, that at the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, Vyasdev explained how this world was created. That was according to the Hindu faith. So, and then Proloy, when the time come, like you see Shatajuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, now the Kali Yuga going on. When the Kali Yuga will be coming to an end, what is going to happen? That all being described in the last chapter of the Mahabharata, epic Mahabharata. People will be short height, they'll be very small size, and they will lose every code of conduct, they'll be breaking everything, there'll be too much greedy, Mahapralaya coming. Then we'll be starting again Satajuga, the golden period. So we strongly believe the Satajuga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, when Bhagavad Gita was delivered to us, and this Kali Yuga. This is the beginning of the Kali Yuga, only 4,000 some years. So at the time of creation, at the time of dissolution, the devotees of the God, they are not afraid, they are not terrified, they are not worried, like how I mentioned many times in this discourse that how last 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, people, we were trembling out of fear, we may lose our life. But thanks God, that time is going behind. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna protected us, and we are still sitting here to listen to the wonderful word of the Lord. Now, I'll be taking you to the main topic. Gunotrayo Vibhaga Yoga, classification of the 3 gunas, that we are going to take you now. So we'll be skipping 2-3 verses. I take you to verse number 5. So please see Bhagavad Gita, and just keep your eye on the verse number 5. Svattam rajastamo iti hi gunaha prakriti sambhavaha. Sattvam rajastamo iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha. Nivadvanti mahabaho. Nivadvanti mahabaho. Dehe dehi namabhayam. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Verse number 5, Arjuna listening word from the mouth of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna say, Sattum rajas tamo iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam abhayam. Two words is very important in this verse. So let me read the meaning first so you will know what is going on here. Lord Krishna say, O mighty arm Arjuna, know that these three gunas, Swatoguna, Rajaguna, and Tamogunas, are born out of Prakriti. Please keep this word, make a note, Prakriti. Know that these three gunas, Swatoguna, Rajaguna, and Tamoguna, are born out of Prakriti. The soul, which is unchanging by nature, is caged in this body of this guna, by these gunas. So what we see here, word by word, first I take you to the word Mahabahu. Second line, second word, Mahabahu. We know, those who read Mahabharata, you know, Arjuna's hand was long hand. It used to come down all the way to his knees. So here Lord Krishna mentioned Arjuna as Mahabahu. The purpose of this whole reference to Arjuna to remind his inner power, because Arjuna lost self-confidence. He forgot that he is one of the idol in the family of warrior, in the Kshatriya Samaj, in the warrior people. He was an idol. He was an example to them. Everybody wanted to learn archery like Arjuna. Arjuna's devotion to his mother, Arjuna's that respect to his elder brothers. Bhima was so naughty, but Arjuna never fighted Bhima. And Arjuna loved his two younger brothers, Sahadeva and Nakul, so much. There was 5 brothers, 5 appearance outside, 5 body, but they had only one soul. Nobody could separate them. Nothing. There was so much thing went up their life, so much torture they went through, so much dark moment they passed through. But these 5 brothers remain intact. And that is how ultimately they become the victorious people. So Mahabahu, Lord Krishna here is the Guru. He is the Guru, he is the master, he is the spiritual teacher. Master reminding his student about his inner strength. Mahabahu. That Arjuna, don't forget that you have tremendous capability. You have wonderful qualities. You have all qualities to be the winner of this world. So that is the whole purpose Lord Krishna calling Arjuna or referring Arjuna as Mahabahu. Now here, Sattvam, Rajat, Tamu, 3 guna. What is Sattaguna? Love, sacrifice, accommodation for the fellow citizen, for the fellow people around you. Zero kind of self-interest. You sacrifice your interest for the other people. Broad-minded. You treat everybody your brother and sisters. You wish you could help everybody in your capacity. You are a devotee of the Lord. You believe in the existence of God, God-fearing person. You speak polite. You don't speak loudly. You don't know how to use harsh word to anybody. All these noble quality, mind full of guiltless, faultless devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. These are all counted as the Svatoguna, best qualities in human life, best all the good qualities you could imagine. Probably you remember one time I mentioned about Lord Sri Rama. Saint Narada inspired Valmiki to write the life of Lord Rama because Narada thought Rama's life, Lord Rama's life, will be changing the life of people, and Lord Rama's example will be motivating people age after age, and it will give them tremendous peace of mind. So Valmiki asked Narada, who is Rama? So Narada give the description of Sri Rama in the very beginning of the Valmiki Ramayana. That's so wonderful that if you think of the Rupa, the outer beauty of Lord Rama, that is like calm day. If you think of the heroism of Lord Rama, it's like Guru Parashuram. If you see the sweetness in Lord Rama, it is the moonlight, sweet moonlight. Is a symbol of forgiveness. So these all Shatoguna, the Lord Rama symbolizes exactly the how Shatoguna should be. He don't get angry. When he came back in the, if you remember that Nashik, we have a beautiful ashram in Nashik in the Panchavoti when Lord Rama was staying his last year of the exile in the Vanvas. When Lakshmana and he came back to that small hut, see Devi Sita was not there. Lord Rama immediately could take one weapon from his quiver and destroy the world with his anger. But he did not do that. He wanted to punish the only wrongdoer only. Even if you remember when Rama crossed ocean, went to Sri Lanka, I went to, a couple of years back, I went to Lanka just to see where Hanumanji landed first, where is the Ashok Vatika. These are the stories of the Treta Yuga. People say, people show you a mountain, that is the place Hanuman first landed. And this is the Ashok Vatika, kind of people just show it, but basically tea garden now. So whenever we think of Lord Sri Rama, he could imagine he reached already at the soil of Lanka and sent a messenger to Baliputra Angad that still there is time. You please return Devi Sita to Rama and save your family. He was full of anger, but he did not become like violent. Sometimes how we become violent. Sometimes we become so inhuman, we behave such inhuman way. So that is why I'm bringing the Rama's example, why we read Ramayana every day, why people love Lord Sri Rama is our life. So he was the exact example of Shataguna, all the noble qualities. And then you see the Shatvam Raja. Rajaguna is the pride, is the ahankar, is the inspiration to do. I want to prove my caliber, I-ness and mine. Sometimes you don't care the feelings of other people. You are you become so intoxicated of your activities that you are not thinking of the people living around you and their feelings. Rajaguna inspire people in the field of action. Rajaguna is needed. That Swami Vivekananda one time mentioned that Indian people need Rajaguna. Need to be very, very active. Here in America, you see people working 2 work, 3 work. So Sataguna, Rajaguna. And then coming Tamoguna. Tamoguna is the kind of that lowest quality of human, sleepy. Guru Maharaj say, what is the greatest enemy of life? Sleepiness, lethargy, idleness, inactivity, and inactivity you don't feel any enthusiasm to do any work, and you are ignoring your duties and responsibilities, you are not sincere to your duties, those kind of things are being counted as tamoguna. This is no good for human being. But you know what actually happened as we go through with this chapter, we'll see that we all human being. Sometimes we are being influenced by the satoguna, sometimes we are influenced by the rajoguna, and some other time we are being influenced by the tamoguna. That we'll be reading. But before I take you there, see here, iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha. The last word of the first line. Prakriti sambhavaha is born out of prakriti. And there I take you to the chapter 13, if you remember. So chapter 13, we read of the prakriti. What is prakriti? Jada jagat. What is jada jagat? That is the material nature. That is the material. That is how it is being translated to in English. Jada jagat translated to material nature. So these three gunas born out of jada jagat are three. Nibadhanti mahabahu dehe dehinam abhyam. Arjuna, these three qualities, Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, create bondage to whom? Dehe, in this body of ours, Dehinam. What is that Dehi? They are coming the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. If you remember chapter 2, when Arjuna was not so interested to taking part in this battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna was explaining the truth of the human life. If you remember all those verses, na jayate mriyate ba kadachit, nayang bhutva bhuvita ba na bhuyaha, ajo nityaha shashvatayang purano, na hannate hannamane sharire. If you remember chapter 2, that there is something in this body of ours. That is the philosophy, the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. If I do not use the Hindu philosophy, the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita preaching this philosophy, Dehe Dehino. There is the existence of the Dehi in this Deho. Deho is the body, Dehi is the Atma. We call it soul, we call it spirit. But the Dehi is the soul, immortal soul, imperishable soul, wonderful soul. And God realization is nothing to realize that immortal soul in this very human body. We do long hours of silent meditation. We sit down for meditation hour after hour, searching God inside this human body. And one day, if we really being blessed by the Supreme Lord, if we are blessed by our gurus, one day you experience the presence of that shining or wonderful soul in this human body. That is the last, what we call Lord Buddha's attainment of nirvana, what we call moksha lava, attainment of moksha for the Hindus, what you call other faith in the world, they have their own word, is nothing, is the understanding our true self, realizing your true self. Once you realize that, that means you breaking the barrier of your life. You become the citizen of this world. People love you now because you have only spreading the message of peace of humanity. You spreading the message that yes, O Srinnantu Vishye Amritasya Putra, like how the ancient rishis of India one time loudly spoke to the world, Srinnantu Vishye, O people of this world. Thousands years back, they are, that proclaiming this word from the Himalayan jungle. Srinnantu Vishya Amritasya Putra. O people of this world, you listen to me, listen to us. You are the children of that Almighty Lord. He is the goal of life. He is to be known. Nanno Pantha. There is no any other route to reach that goal. So, Dehi Dehinam Abhyam, immortal. Najayate Mriyate Bad, Kadachit. this soul which is residing or dwelling in this human body, the soul, because of the presence of that soul, immortal soul, I can move by hand, I can see you, you can see me, you could do things, you could enjoy your meal, you could going out for a holiday, whatsoever you're doing, building your beautiful home, you're doing your garden, because when that soul go out of life, out of this human body, body will not function anymore. According to medical science, medical world, that person is being died. He is dead. So Dehi, the very important one, Dehe Dehinam. The number one, the first point, in this body there is Dehi. Najayate mriyate ba kadachit. Nayam bhutva, this soul never born, it entered to a new body. Bhovita ba na bhuyaha. It's not like that in future is going to take a birth. Najayate mriyate ba kadachit. Nayam bhutva bhovita ba na bhuyaha. Ajaha nitya shashvatayam puranaha. Ajaha, it is unborn. Nityaha, it is eternal. Ajo nitya shashvata, it was and it will be there. Na hannate hannamane sharire. Even though this body fall down, we still remain. We call finer body. Those who practice meditation regular way, like in the Minnesota Hindu Milan Mandir, we had a wonderful meditation session on Saturday afternoon. There was not much people, but it's very quiet place, very beautiful altar, and very silent neighborhood. You don't hear no noise. So a couple of us were doing meditation more than an hour of time. And we could go deep inside of us and we feel the presence of divinity. So I'm emphasizing this particular word before I move forward. Abhayam. The nature of this soul is Abhayam, eternal. These are why I'm just repeatedly reading it, because these are the base of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita scripture. Bhagavad Gita is standing on this belief that I am not the body, but I'm the soul, and I don't die. I don't die. I'm the eternal, inseparable part of that supreme God. So that is the whole thing. So Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Satoguna is born out of the nature, Jada Jagat. It cases this soul in a human body, which is the soul is immortal. That was the whole message we did in the verse number 5. So let me take you to verse number 6 now. Verse number 6, chapter 14. Gunotrayo Vibhago Yogaha. Om Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakashako Anamayam Sukho Sangena Badhnati Gyano Sangena Chanagha. Tatra Sattvat Nirmalatvat Prakashako Anamayam Sukho Sangena Badhnati Gyano Sangena Chanagha. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. The beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, just recitation. You sit down alone at the corner of your home, in front of your home altar, or you went to a temple, you don't see what the other devotee is doing. You take your Bhagavad Gita, sit down in front of the Murti of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and just recite Bhagavad Gita. That sound will be echoing your entire body, your soul, and you will be enjoying wonderful peace in the mind. So this particular verse number 6, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, "O sinless Arjuna," that is another word. Cha Anaga, last word of the second line. You see, Chanaga, Cha Anaga. So Anaga means, oh, somebody sinless, pure, and pure. Oh, sinless Arjuna, among all these three qualities, Because of its nature of purity, Swatugunas are very sinless and illuminating. But with the attachment to joyfulness, as well as with the attachment to knowledge, Swatugunas also cause bondage to the soul. Imagine Swatuguna, if you see your friend or somebody in among the human kind, if you see somebody in society or in a country full of Shatagunas, people worship. But here Lord Krishna say, because of the nature of sinless purity and illuminating, this Shataguna also causes bondage to the soul. In our spiritual world, we call Shataguna is the last step at the door of the kingdom of God. Last step. Tamoguna, we sleepy. The Guruji take me to temple, let's go and do for meditation. We are thinking when this old monk will be, that will be sleeping, we'll run out of temple and do our things. Tamoguna, we wanted to sleep more. And then when we become younger, that Guruji say, let's go to meditation. No, we want to build something. This, we'll be building school, we'll be building hospital, we'll be building, garden, we'll plant trees, we will, this kind of Rajaguna. But then ultimately when we matured enough, that Guruji gone, he passed away. Now we become, kind of advanced in our experience and age. We learn the beauty of meditation. So here, let me take you. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi. Raga, anuraga. So Rajaguna, we explain what is Rajaguna. Ragatmakam vidhi. Arjuna, you must know. Vidhi means know. You must know Rajo ragatmakam, anuraga. It develops attachment, love to do service to mankind, to love people, to sacrifice for people, to Atma Bolidan. You give everything. Like your childhood days used to give half of the guava to your younger sister or to your younger brother, or you give your most of the clothes you loved more, you give to your younger sister or younger brother, take it, and you find tremendous joy. Similarly, when you are big, you give up everything from life. Your life become a kind of symbol of sacrifice, full of Shataguna. But then again, Ragat Mokon, it develop, attach us with the love. Guruji says, Swami Pranavanandaji, whose picture you see behind of me, Acharya Srimad Swami Pranavanandaji Maharaj. Acharya Srimad Swami Pranavanandaji Maharaj is the founder of Bharat Sevashram Sangha and Hindu Milan Mandir movement. These are monasteries, both, that he created Bharat Sevashram Sangha for the monk, where monks stay. He created Hindu Milan Mandir, a common platform to bring all people at one place and solve the problem in the society face today's life. So he is the founder. He mentioned, if you read his life, because I'm writing his life in the Minnesota Hindu Milan Mandir daytime, I don't see anybody. So I'm getting more time to devote myself, go deep into the message of Guruji. Guruji telling speech control. Try to remain silent. When you get a phone call, you listen more, speak less. Speech control, food control, thought control. Spend time in meditation, contemplation on the goal of life, how to improve our life, how to be really, really happy and peaceful. Because once you become peaceful, anybody come near to you, feel the touch of that peace. Because the people are scared, people are disturbed in outside world because of this problem going on. So Rajo Ragat Mokang Vidhi Trishna Sango Samudbhavam. Trishna means hunger, thirsty. We call, I have a lot of Trishna. Can you please give me a glass of water? Trishna is the hunger, thirsty. Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. Because there is hunger to serve the mankind. I'm talking of the Rajaguna, Shataguna, good quality. But Bhagavad Gita explaining the danger of the Satoguna too, because it will be ultimately, if we are entangling in Satoguna, we are unable to enter the kingdom of God. We have to go beyond of this three guna. You know, in the Shakti Puja, like when we celebrate Navaratri, annual Durga Puja, when we worship Goddess Durga with 10 hands, wonderful, appearance of Goddess Durga, Ma Durga. We worship her as the mother of this universe. During the period of Durga Puja or Navaratri, once you come to a temple, if you look the face of the Ma Durga or Goddess Durga, you feel like it's not a marble statue, it's the real mother, is there. So Mother Durga is being known as Triguna Moi. And those who worship God as Mother, Vishwa Janani, the world of this Mother, they say, "Oh Mother, please free me from the bondage of this three guna." And here we in the Bhagavad Gita, we are at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. We say, "Hey Krishna, oh Lord Krishna, oh, you know that you are the personification of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Please free us from all these three gunas so we could go beyond." So the Satoguna we talked, I think we miss one verse, look like. Yes. Tatra, no, I was doing mistake because I went to the second page, but I'm sorry, the verse number 6. Tatra Swattam Nirmalatat. I was explaining to you Rajaguna actually. So let me finish that one, then I will come back here. So I mix up with 6 and 7. So I'm sorry. Let me take you to verse number 6. Tatra Swatvam Nirmalatvat Prakashako Anamayam Sukha Sangena Badhnati Jnana Sangena Chanaga. I did a mistake actually. Maybe my hand went to the verse number 7. I was explaining to you Rajaguna. Actually, I supposed to explain Satoguna first. So let me take you to verse number 6 actually. Tatra Swattam Nirmalatvat Prakashaka Anamayam Sukha Sangena Badhnati Jnana Sangena Chanaga. O sinless Arjuna, among all these three qualities, because of its nature of purity, Swatugunas are very sinless and illuminating, but with the attachment of joyfulness and as well as with the attachment to knowledge, Swatugunas cause bondage to soul. Tatra Swatvam Nirmalatvat. Swatuguna is pure, Nirmal. Prakashaka is illuminating. Anamayam and sinless completely. Sukha Sangena Badhnati. It attaches soul with the happiness and joyfulness. Jnana Sangena Chanaga. O sinless Arjuna, this Satoguna also attaches the soul with the knowledge also. So I'm again in the verse number 6. The Satoguna is the symbol of knowledge, light, is that it is being, the soul is being illuminated and give us lots of joyfulness and happiness, but ultimately Satoguna bind us with the knowledge and joyfulness. The last word, cha anagha. See, anagha. Anagha is sinless Arjuna. Lord Krishna again telling his disciple, "Oh Arjuna, you are completely sinless, you are very pure." So that is the beauty of this verse. And I was going to the verse number 7. So let me take you there. I was explaining Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi, that area. Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. So Rajaguna, which symbolize the I-ness, pride, all those things, is being originated from the thirst and hunger. Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. Tanni Badhnati Kaunteo Karma Sangena Dehina. Rajaguna attaches soul with the activities of life. We all know that Atma is free from all kind of bondages. Atma is eternally free. But Atma dwelling in this human body, and this human body is the place for practice of Rajaguna, Sataguna, and Tamoguna. So being residing in this human body, naturally Atma is being caged there according to the activities of these three gunas. So Sataguna binding the soul with the knowledge, love of humankind, and Rajaguna binding the soul, Krishna, and also Sangha, the desire for activities. Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Krishna Sangha Samudbhavam Tarni Badhnati Kaunteo, O Kunti Putro, O son of Mother Kunti, that karma sangyana, the soul is being caged, is being binded, it brings bondage by the Rajaguna too because of its active nature. So we read Sataguna and Rajaguna. Sataguna, just in short, Sataguna is the good quality, noble qualities. Rajaguna is the field of activities. So let me take you to verse number 8. Verse number 8. तमोस्तु अज्ञानजमे विद्धि तमोस्तु अज्ञानजमे विद्धि मोहनम सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभि तन्निबध्नाति भारत तमोस्तु अज्ञानजमे विद्धि। ओम नमः श्री भगवते वासुदेवाय श्री कृष्णाय नमो नमः। Verse number 8, Lord Krishna tells, O Arjuna, the descendant of King Bharata, Tamogunas are born out of utter ignorance, and it is very confusing to all. It binds a soul or it binds a person by indolence, slumber, and excessive sleep. So you could see Sataguna is the best quality among us. Rajaguna is the quality which is binding us to the world of action. But Tamoguna, Tamostu Ajnanajang Vidhi. Tamoguna represent complete ignorance, misunderstanding. Mohanam. Mohanam means it's like bring illusion, delusion. It put a curtain so that we cannot see the outside beauty of the world. So, Tamostu Ajnanajang Vidhi Mohanam. Mohanam means it takes people so down, people become intoxicated with the sleepiness, lethargy. Like Guruji says, Swami Pranavanandaji, Mahapap, what is the greatest sin? It's this indolence, slumber, inertia, procrastination, idleness. And that is the example of Tamoguna. Tamostu Ajnanajang Vidhi Mohanam Sarvadehinam. For everybody, Tamoguna is no good. It make you inactive, you make you sleep, lethargy, you don't have no inspiration. Anybody come with inspiration, enthusiasm, somebody coming to do some work, coming near to you because you are being, or I am being intoxicated or being influenced by the tamogunas, that person who came with full of energy also loses energy. That is the vibration of the tamoguna. Pramad alasya nidrabhi. It binds a person indolence, pramad. And we see, one day I went for a tour to Atlantic City. There's a whole group of Indian people. They built a beautiful temple. So we finished Bhagavad Gita study night time. And next morning we went for a boardwalk. Beautiful morning. You could imagine Atlantic City has beautiful, clean boardwalk. You see few people walking, but place to places you see some people, sitting on a bench, look like whole night they spent in the playing all those casino and gone all of their money, become empty now, pocket become empty. Now sitting outside the bench, look like drunk. You could see their face. So that is I give an example how they look like full of tamoguna. Morning time, face looks so kind of depression, sad, lost all money. So pramad, that is pramad. We do wrong thing, thinking it is the good thing to do. So that is how is the tamoguna. Pramad, alasya, idleness. You hear occasionally idle brain is the idle brain is the abode of devils. You're not thinking constructively, you're not thinking positively, you're not thinking enthusiastically, you're not thinking in a noble way, in a sattvic way, or even you're not thinking in a rajasic way. So that is how alas. People cursing you, you going behind of everybody. Those people, your friend, you could see they went far ahead already. They are being ahead of you, but still, we are not feeling that way to be active. So Pramad Alusya Nidra, oh Lord. One home I went, and monk, we wake up early morning by 3:30, 3 o'clock. By 6 we finish everything, we are hungry now. By 6 o'clock, we already hungry, finish our yoga practice, meditation, puja. Now, the lady give breakfast by 7. Then I'm asking that, why is your son? I did not see him. Oh, Swamiji, he will be waking up at 2 p.m. 2 p.m.? When he went to the bed, he went to the bed is morning 4. He could see the changes in the body. So when he wake up at 2 p.m., he will taking little milk cereal. That's the breakfast time. Lot of us are being, that spend time, half of the life we spent in sleeping. Pramad, alasya, nidra. These are the ripu, sorrow ripu. These are the enemies of mankind. These are the great enemies of mankind. We have to plan properly how to live our life. You are the architect of your life. When you go to, you see that we were building temple in New Jersey. So I went to make a murti, statue of Sri Sri Guruji Maharaj from Makrana marble of Jaipur. So I thought, since Guruji was born in Bengal, let me take an artist from Bengal. So he brought marble, white marble from all the way Jaipur to Calcutta. And there was a big piece of marble was falling in the garden. I said, Swamiji, did you see this piece of marble? I said, yes. So that will be making you Guruji Murti. I said, this marble falling in the ground, huge piece of marble? Well, yes. So the artist will be, cutting the marble piece by piece and making the Murti of Guru Maharaj. That is how all the marble Murti you see in a Hindu temple is being made from pathar or stone. That is how our life, devotees, in this evening sitting in this Minnesota Hindu Milan Mandir, I would like to tell you that we are the architect of our own life. We cannot blame nobody. Husband cannot blame wife, wife cannot blame husband. Children cannot blame their parent. Nobody can blame nobody because it is, we cut a piece of marble and shape our life. What we are today, that is how we thought, we dream, we imagine, we prepare ourselves. If we look our back, this is how we prepare to be. So we are the architect of our own life. And tomorrow, how I will look, the way I'm thinking today, the way I'm acting today, the way I'm dreaming today, I'm doing the imagination today, like I will be, people will look at me in the same way, the way I'm working now. So Pramad Alusya Nidrabhi Tanni Badhati Bharata. Oh Arjuna, you born in the great King Bharata. The Bharat was one of the most famous king of India. Because of that king, the name of the Bharat, so India got the name Bharat Desh, Bharat Bhumi, or Bharat Varsha. So, O son of Arjuna, you are born in the line of that famous king Bharata. No, this is the nature of the Tamoguna. it brings the soul so down. So we see these three gunas: Satoguna, noble quality, best quality of mankind. We see Rajaguna, which is throwing us to the field of action, and we see the effect of Tamoguna in us. So let me take you to the verse number 9. Verse number 9 of chapter 14. Svatvam sukhe sanjayati rajah paramani bharata jnanam avritta tu tamaha pramade sanjayatut. Om Namaha Sri Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Sattvam Sukhi Sanjayati Rajaha Karmani Bharata Jnanam Abritta Tu Tamaha Pramade Sanjayatu Taha. O Arjuna, Satoguna attach a person with happiness, Rajaguna attach a person with action, and enveloping wisdom, Tamoguna create confusion in all. Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Satoguna bring endless happiness in life. Everybody love. A person who is full of Satoguna, people respect him, people trust him. Myself, you, or he, she, everybody can trust. Okay, this is the person full of Satoguna. I could trust him or I could trust her. Sattam Sukhe Sanjayati. But the Satoguna bind the soul with this happiness. Because in the Vaishnava scripture, and you see the picture there too. They're drawing a picture, a spiritual student or spiritual seeker climb the steps. The first steps was all those tamogunas climbing. Then climbed to the Rajaguna step, and then went to the Satoguna, the best quality. He developed those wonderful qualities. But then he entangled there. He did not know that I need to move forward in life more. So I go beyond of these gunas, and I could be free from this attachments of three gunas, and ultimately I could reach or enter the kingdom of God. So Arjuna, Lord Krishna explained to his student, Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Satoguna is the best quality. Satoguna we should practice in life. You see Ravana and Rama, two pictures. Occasionally we see Ravana has 10 head, ugly looking, look like a Osura, look demon-like. And Lord Rama, one head, a very divine appearance. So Ravana 10 head represent all those Tamoguna and Rajoguna. And Lord Rama's that divine face represent Satoguna. So Sattvam Sukhi Sanjayati, it brings lot of joy and happiness to our life. But again, it binds the soul with this happiness. Rajaha Karmani Bharata, again Arjuna is being referred as the descendant of King Bharat. That Rajaguna, which is good, because when somebody come to ashram, that Swamiji, please give me things to do. I want to do something. Or we want to build a new school or a new orphanage or new hospital, or we want to build a new temple, or we want to do something else which will be benefit for the public. Let us go collect fund and do something public charity, so which will be benefited for future generation. These are the sign of the Rajagunas, which is very good for in the society. But Rajaha Karmani Bharata. O Arjuna, Rajaguna bind the soul with the activities. Sometimes you see, I see also, and lot of in home also, when there is conflict between the husband and wife, lot of time the man or the person, he's working with his whole heart. He's trying to bring some more money so he could buy better home, a better car, could send his children to the better school. And because of this, he has little time for the family. Maybe 2 or 3 work he's doing. trying to bring more money. His intention is very good. On the other hand, children and the wife, they feel like they're being left out. He's not giving little time for them. In many places, this misunderstanding develop unhappiness in the home. It happened to ashram also. You'll see some monks are very kind of, they are so aggressively, they want to, they're bringing their plan, they're bringing, showing what big building they are going to build, what they want to do, kind of activities. He went to ashram to listen to the word of the God, but he's not talking of anything spiritual. He's not talking of meditation. He's not talking of the job. He's not talking of the mind concentration. He's not talking of the how to control the restlessness of the mind. He's not talking the wonderful word of God, but he's talking of the activities. We want to build new orphanages or something like that. So that is called Rajaha Karmani Bharata. O Arjuna, that Rajaguna bind the soul with the activities. Jnanam Abrita, covering the wisdom, like enveloping wisdom. Jnanam Abrita to Tamaha. Tamoguna envelop the all wisdom. Tamsik, we curse people, Tamsik Vyakti is so lazy, so kind of a kind of symbol of laziness and procrastination and sleep and lethargy, inactivity, sleeping, and thinking, cannot think in a high way, don't know how to think in a positive and vibrant way. Jnanam abruttu tu tamaho pramade, that pramad is the illusion. In home, occasionally, family come, Swamiji, my daughter is not, she's not understanding that she's going to put her foot in the wrong place. Or father telling Swamiji, can you please do something to protect my son? Because that he's now 17 years of age. He thinks that his dad don't know anything. His dad is backdated kind of thing. He's thinking that way. So dad is helpless coming to us. Even we cannot help because he's not ready to listen. So that's called pramad. A kind of wrong thing he's thinking that is right and which will be taking you to the wrong direction. You know why I'm telling? Being monk, we see how mother or parent cry for their children went to the wrong path. They, because they are young age, they did not understand the danger of the life, danger of the kind of things they are doing, and they lose everything. Even the dad, mom and dad was ready to sacrifice everything, put all their fund to educate their children. But children is not, they do not, they become pramad, illusion. A wrong kind of thing invaded their mind, and that is how destroying their life here and the life coming ahead of them. So, Sanjaya Tutaha, O Arjuna, you must know that Tamoguna is the lowest kind of quality. It envelops all wisdom and make people can look dark, ugly, demoniac, and they're very cruel also sometimes, very selfish people. They don't have no kind of space for other people. These are the Tamoguna. This is how it binds the soul. So Rajaguna, Tamoguna, and Satoguna, all these gunas cause bondage to a soul. Please keep in mind, because people will be doing argument with you that why Satoguna is the wonderful qualities. We should culture, nourish, and help everybody to be that equipped with the Satogunas. Yes, it is true. We all want to increase our quality, good qualities in our life. We want to be a good human being. But then if we want to feel the touch of God, we have to go beyond of these three gunas. Let me take you to the verse number 10. Please keep in mind, we as a human being, all this quality we have. Sometimes you will see in home that your mommy or your dad or your children are so good, they are so joyful, they are so accommodating, they are so forgiving, they are so loving and caring. You must know that that is the moment your mom, dad, or the children they are being influenced by the Satguna. If you see somebody, a member of your family is very kind of rushing, intoxicated with activities, must know he's being influenced by the Rajaguna. And if you see that one of the member of your family is sleepy, idle, no enthusiasm, no kind of intention to improve the life, must know that he's being influenced by the Tamogunas. We need to break that slumber. So verse number 10, chapter 14. Rajastamoscabhibhuyah Rajastamoscabhibhuyah Swatvang bhavati bharatah Rajastamoscabhibhuyah Swatvang bhavati bharatah Rajah Swattvam Tamaschaiva Tamaha Sattvam Rajastatha Rajastamascabhibhuya Madhuro Madhuro Naam Krishna Naam Jai Krishna Naam Madhuro Madhuro Naam Krishna Naam Jai Krishna Naam O Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jai Radhe Shyam Madhuro Madhuro Naam Krishna Naam Jai Krishna Naam Om Krishna Om Krishna Om Krishna. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, one of the guna or quality is always dominant over the rest. I read again. O Arjuna, one of the guna or quality is always dominant over the rest. Sometimes Satoguna prevails over Rajagunas and Tamogunas. Sometimes Rajagunas prevails over Satoguna and Tamogunas. And other times Tamogunas prevails over Satoguna and Rajaguna. And this is, we always see that. One of the gunas is always predominant over the rest. Sometimes we, as a human being, we all have all these three gunas. But sometimes you will see somebody is very noble, very open, very loving, very caring, very accommodating, very open-minded, very forgiving. He wants to give, distribute his love to the mankind. He has room for everybody. So that means we could understand that Satoguna dominating the Rajaguna and Tamoguna, prevailing over the Rajaguna and Tamoguna both. And that time the man is shining with wonders, with nobility. We see that in our life. We see in ashram, we see in monastery, we see at our home too. Because sometimes you come to monastery or ashram, you see monks are so loving, caring, giving. They want to shower their blessings. They want to pray for you. They are, praying for your children. They happy when you say that what will achievement of your children to the monk. They are so joyful. They become part of your family. They become part of the society. They become part of the family of this world. Sometimes you might see, that means that time that particular monk is dominated by the Satoguna. Rajaguna and Tamoguna is silent there. Sometimes you see in the family life too, that your mom or your dad or your grandfather or grandma or your elder brother or elder sister, so wonderful, full of wonderful qualities, must know that is time he or she is being dominated by the Satogunas. Take, giving to his sister, brother, everything. So sometimes Satoguna prevails over Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Sometimes Rajoguna prevails over Satoguna and Rajoguna. You might sometimes you come to ashram, you see Swamiji's look like if, I mean, you talking to Swamiji, you talking to monk, I mean, you're not telling anything, you're not expressing your view, but you understand because you are educated, you are learned enough, you are intellectual person, you understand that this Swamiji is dominated by the Rajagunas. He's talking of himself a lot. He's showing his caliber to people, and he only try to glorify himself, and he's trying to motivate people to donate more fund, so more kind of thing. And you know, because since you are a highly qualified person, you could easily understand that Swamiji is being dominated by the Rajoguna for the time being. Satoguna is silent there, Tamoguna also silent there. And it happened to our home, it happened to our society. But please keep in mind, Swami Vivekananda one time mentioned that to develop the country, to take the nation ahead of time, to take the world ahead of time, we need Rajaguna. You know, Satoguna, sometimes it might say that if somebody give you a slap, and you say, because you are influenced by the Satoguna, okay, wrongfully slap you, hit you, you say, okay, no, I forgive you. If you wish, you could give another slap here. No. That time, it Rajaguna, if wrongfully give you a slap, why you should be like that? Guruji did not teach us that way, Swami Pranavanandaji. You know his life, that person used to terrorize people in the Bajitpur village market. One day, you know, those time people used to tie dhoti and go to school. Guruji was only 15 or 16 years of age, big body, strong body. Used to do heavy exercise, 2000 times, you know, moving that, the gada, the Hanumanji's hand, you see the gada, a very strong person. So he was waiting the roadside. That man who's terrorizing the village people, he hold him. Hey, that I heard that you're terrorizing village people. What happened to you? Yes, I did. So who are you to ask me? So who are me? So Guruji lift his 2 feet, lift him up, throw him 7 feet away. Now see who am I. Then he came, fall at the feet, Guruji. Oh, you are my father, you are my father, you are my father. So we have to be very careful the time we have Satoguna and Rajaguna, very fine thing. Satoguna, we cannot forgive that wrong injustice. We have to be very careful. We have to give room to courage. You know, one thing I will tell you. We read the life of the ancient saints and holy men. For example, Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, he introduced to us Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om. So it is Vishwamitra introduced to us Gayatri Mantra. But see, Vishwamitra was full of Rajaguna. He had anger. He had no control on his anger. No control at all. And imagine, he was the guru of Guru Vasishtha and Guru Vishwamitra. Both these two are the guru of Lord Rama. But Vishwamitra, Saint Vishwamitra had no control on his anger. And many times he fell down from his path of spirituality. He lost everything. Thousands of years of meditation. I mean, when I say thousands of years, means long time of meditation. He earned that spiritual power. But sometime anger came, temptation came. He fell down from this highest place and restarted again. Again he restarted his tapasya. But ultimately, he could not control his anger. Everybody calling him Rajarshi, and everybody respecting, but Guru Vasishtha is not accepting him as a Brahmarshi. Imagine Rishi Vishwamitra took a knife. he thought tonight I will kill him. So he was hiding behind the ashram, beside the hut, small hut, bush hut, where Rishi Vasishtha and his wife Devi Arundhati used to stay. Vishwamitra was hiding behind. And from outside, he heard that Devi Arundhati and Vasishtha, husband wife, talking. Devi Arundhati say that, Lord, talking to her husband, why don't you accept Vishwamitra Rishi as Brahmorshi? He has such a wonderful quality. He achieved everything in life. So Guru Vasishtha say, yes, Devi, I agree with you that Vishwamitra Rishi achieved everything in spiritual life, but he could not control his anger. He has no control on his anger. As soon as he will be able to master his anger, he will be a, what you call, Brahmorshi. Rishi Vishwamitra heard that conversation between husband and wife. He knocked the door of the small hut, and Vasishtha Rishi and Devi Arundhati was, shocked to see Vishwamitra came inside, fell down at the feet of Devi Arundhati and Guru Vasishtha. And Guru Vasishtha hold him up. Hey Rishi Vishwamitra, hey Brahmorshi Vishwamitra, from today you are Brahmorshi. Because you control your anger. So that is how Rajagunaha. So let me complete this verse before I complete, because the time I think is running out. So Sattaguna, Rajaguna I talk, and sometimes here say Tamoguna prevail over Sattaguna and Rajaguna. Sometimes Tamoguna, when you come to ashram, you might see a Swamiji, that Swamiji is sleeping, inactive, no inspiration, no positiveness, no positive vibration. There's so much things need to be doing in the ashram. Yard need to clean, flower need to clean the garden, ashram need to be clean, that altar need to be clean because people coming to pray at the altar, and timely puja, bhog need to offer. But you could see that Swamiji is not so active. He's not doing his duty. We're not telling anything. And it happened to same to our home. Sometimes you see the person is not doing his response, don't see any enthusiasm to complete his duties. So that means I'm not faulting, I'm not blaming, is the influence of the Tamoguna. So I'm completing today saying that story. You hear the stories of Vishwamitra. So that means Rishi Vishwamitra many times went up in spiritual life, fell down. In this way, ultimately one day with his long journey, ups and downs, sometimes defeated by his inner enemies like urges of the body, kama, krodha, lobha, anger, hatred, jealousy, all this he was defeated, he fell down. Then he came up again, he practiced meditation, he practiced yoga. Then one day he became Brahmorshi. But those days was, we used to give time to correct mistake, in an ashram or in home, like parent. As a parent, you give so much time to your children to correct them. You pray to them, you go to the temple, silently pray for your children that, oh Gurudev, oh Mother Durga, please help my child. So parents give time to their children to correct themselves so that they learn lesson from their life and improve their life. But sometimes we become so impatient, we don't give opportunity to people correct. So keep in mind, we human being, as a human being, we do mistake, and please give us opportunity so that we as a human being get time to improve our life, and one day we could be wonderful citizens of this country, and we could bring the true world peace. We're talking world peace. So we get opportunity togetherly, we bring real peace to this world. I think by saying this word, I should complete here, just saying a small prayer before I complete. Om Do Shanti, Antariksham Shanti, Prithivi Shanti, Apo Shanti, Vasudhaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishwe Deva Shantihi Sarvam Shantihi Shantirevo Shantihi Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Thank you for joining to us.